I have personally crossed blades with a lot of people, mostly men, but some women. And I've been beaten, mostly by men, but also by a few women, including one old enough to be my grandmother. As a teacher up to this point, I'd reckon that around 2/3 of my students have been men and 1/3 been women. That's not surprising. What is surprising is that of my very best students, say the top 12, 2/3 have been women and 1/3 have been men. Now, why that shift? How do you account for that discrepancy? When I refer to my best students, what do I mean by that? Well, here are my 4 criteria. First, they reached a very high level of technical ability, and I'll include tactics and strategy in with that. Second, they are very highly intelligent and emotionally mature, which made them very teachable. Third, they displayed great personal integrity, and that includes taking responsibility for your own actions. They do what they say they're going to do, and they always do it to the best of their ability. Fourth, they demonstrated irrepressible fighting spirit, which basically means when they go after something, they'd rather die than quit. This is true of all my best students, whether male or female. Let me point out that of these 4 criteria, I can only take credit for teaching the first one. So back to the question, why should disproportionately more women than men number among my top students? I can think of several possible answers to that. The first possibility is that maybe I'm just wrong. I do my best to be fair and objective, and I have a certain amount of training and experience in doing that, but there's an inescapable degree of subjectivity involved in my observations, and it's possible that I'm biased in a way or to a degree of which I'm not aware. Confirmation bias, maybe. Whether it's evidence or trouble, you always tend to find what you go looking for. So it's possible that my observations are just inaccurate. We would expect more men than women to be interested in combat sports. This is part nature and part nurture. In general, men tend to be more aggressive than women, more inclined to explore that side of their nature. Rough and tumble is in our DNA, gents. Biologically, we only exist to impregnate females and to protect women and children. And that's why men are bigger and stronger and faster than women. Form follows function. On the flip side of that, females have the exclusive capacity to bear and nourish offspring, and human beings being non-precocial, that last part requires an extended period of time. Now, that's not to say that men are incapable of being nurturing in some way or to some degree, or that women are incapable of being protective in some way to some degree, but we're looking at generalities and not specific individuals. Anyway, that's the nature part. Here's the nurture part. Traditionally, boys are encouraged to get dirty, roughhouse, play contact sports, and learn martial arts, use weapons. For boys, some level of fighting is expected of them from the time they're very young. But that's not been the scene for girls. Girls are expected not to fight, not to be aggressive. For girls, aggression may, on rare occasions, be allowed, but it's not really encouraged. I've seen some boys who signed up for fencing only because their parents were pushing them into it. The boys themselves weren't really that interested. But I don't ever recall a girl in that situation. All the girls I've had in classes wanted to be there. For a girl or woman to even start learning the sword, she's already defied cultural expectations. She's already chosen something that's not what's expected of her. She has to have a little bit of a oppositional defiance streak in her. And I like that. In a contest of size, strength, or speed, the bigger, stronger, faster contestant will always win. And because men are naturally bigger, stronger, and faster than women, it follows that men will always beat women in such a physically based contest. But you know, there aren't any weight classes in chess or in fencing. Early on, before they've had sufficient time to acquire skill, male fencers dominate female fencers physically. And as long as it's a contest of size, strength, and speed, men will beat women with the predictability of gravity. But the sword is all about skill. Superior skill will beat size, strength, and speed every time. That's the definition of superior skill. I find that many men stall in their progress when they find that they cannot continue to rely on their greater size, strength, and speed for success. Now, at that point, the men will either shift gears to cultivate skill, or they'll drop out. But see, most women never base their hopes for success on physicality. They recognize much earlier than most men that only skill will enable success. Successful women didn't try to outmuscle the men. They didn't try to out-yang the yang. They didn't beat the men by being stronger or faster. They beat them by being smarter. By which I mean they developed a superior degree of technical skill, a sophisticated understanding of how to use it, and the calm focus that enabled them to do that. Incidentally, that's also exactly what my best male students do. Because excellent fencing is all about technique and not physique. At a high level, men and women can participate as true equals. The most skillful fencer, whether male or female, will always win. So women can enjoy a degree of equality in the sword, which they may find less common elsewhere. The Pygmalion principle states that people tend to perform in accordance with the expectations placed upon them. The expectations I place on my female students have always been the same as the expectations I place upon my male students. I expect excellence. And not only excellence as a fencer, but excellence as a human being. Because you're capable of excellence, and my job is to make sure you're never satisfied with anything less. On a more personal note, I'll let you in on a little secret. One of the reasons, maybe one of the main reasons, I started doing martial arts was because I got the shit kicked out of me by the sensei's daughter. And I didn't have the first clue as to how she did it. I can remember holding my poor paw like a puppy and saying, "What the hell was that? What did you just do?" And then she told me. And right then and there, my life took a sharp left-hand turn onto the glory road.